But I followed his work for a long time. I think just seeing that video is something you don't forget at all. And it's just an awful scene.
Well, the good news is the numbers for Turning Point have just exploded. And I know nothing brings him back, right? Nothing just, instantly returns him to us. But to know that his organization, they actually were talking about this, was an audio that we heard. They were talking about how they had planned on, this year was going to be a year of expansion. And they Charlie's idea was 30,000. He was like, well, there's only 22,000, high school campuses in the country. He was like, okay, well, adjust it down. And they got him to adjust down to 10,000 because they were concerned that to go to the organization with that number, it might be a little disheartening. And so, here he is kind of adjusting the number down. But he's that kind of person who sees this as this great opportunity to grow. And so, there they are. And then this happened.
Hey, press with Rain Court.
And then you
see it, bud.
20, it's over 30,000. I think it was 27,000. Now it's something like 30,000.
Get on the road here.
32,000 chapter requests, high school and other. That is just so outstanding. It's a real testimony to the work that he did. Close us out here, Bobby. I know it's been a tough week, and I've been so grateful that you were here last week and that you're here this week. It's nice to have, trusted voices to talk about this with. But it's also like we're going to be remembering this years on that we were.
Are you on Rumble at all?
This happened and how much things have changed, because I think this really is. He called it turning point. It really is a turning point. Him being killed and us having to go on without him.
Yeah, absolutely. And as always, I appreciate this conversation. I think you and I have some of the most authentic conversations anywhere in media every week. And I'm always grateful to come on with you. And I would just remind people again.
I was just doing some IT work here in Cleveland. I'm heading back to Metro Toledo. I don't live in the city. I live in the suburbs. But hey, Missing. It was a good day. Busy day.
He would say, what are you doing? Get out there. Go tell somebody about your story. I love the way people are sharing about how they're back in church. There's so many of those great videos of people sharing that they were out of church and now they're back. I love the look on their faces as they're sharing this. They look so fresh and young and new and they're excited. And it's like a new beginning for them. And they also, some of them look teary-eyed,
if you check me out, I'm dual streaming to there. It's actually the only place I'm monetized right now.
Ultimately benefit them, but whatever reason they're doing it.
If you want the link, it's right here. I'll give it to you.
A positive life experience out of it. I just love it. I love it because, I've been saying people should go back to church for a long time, and now people are going back to church. I hate that this is what it took to get people to kind of wake up to it, but sometimes that's how it works.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I've discussed with you my journey of faith. And the past week has actually wanted me to grow closer to God and Jesus because of how much happiness and courage it gave Charlie Kirk.
It's kind of amazing. I mean, it's like the words, we don't have the proper words to describe how awesome all of these developments are. And so, yeah, I'm very, very excited about the future. We can't do anything about the fact that we've lost Charlie Kirk. There's nothing we can do about that, to undo that. But we can do a lot to maintain his legacy and see a better future for our country. So that's what I'm looking forward to. Bobby, awesome writing this week. You got everybody by the neck, and you got the receipts, and nobody can disagree. I mean, I guess people could disagree. Anybody can disagree, but you wouldn't be right about it. Yeah, they wouldn't be right about it. They would just be disagreeing for nothing.
Yeah, I might ask you for proof, right? Because likewise, a lot of people call me racist and all sexist, and I usually just
stop at Sheets for something to drink and something to pee.
That's usually where where they want.
They actually had the bathroom locked in there. I was like, what the fuck?
I love it. All right. Well, you have a good week.
I almost peed in their kitchen sink.
Thank you so much, Bobby Byrne.
Thank you.
All right. Outkick.com.
This is broke or something.
We absolutely have to keep talking. It's more important now than ever.
This fall, Megyn Kelly is taking her show live to cities nationwide.
To go silent is not the answer. I'm going. I'm going to stand on these stages and I'm going to say all the things that we say all the time on this show. We're going to make it safe for me. We're going to make it safe for my team and my guests and you. And do something really important, which is say what's true and what's real. And I would love for you to join me. MegynKelly.com for the tickets.
When the shelves are empty, when the lights are out, when the storm doesn't pass, you'll either have what you need or you won't. If you're waiting on FEMA, you may just be waiting forever. Here's the truth. FEMA is overwhelmed, underfunded, and stretched too thin. They can't save
Hey, Madar.
That's why right now, when you buy a 3-month survival food kit from 4 Patriots, you'll get 2 more months absolutely free. That's 5 full months of delicious, shelf-stable meals designed to last 25 years and proudly hand-packed in America. Because disasters aren't slowing down, they're getting worse. And if you're waiting for someone else to...
Madar loves Rumble.
You'll be waiting too long. This isn't panic, it's preparation. Protect what matters most. Go now to 4patriots.com. That's the number 4patriots.com and get 2 free months of survival food before this deal is gone for good. The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I haven't paid my taxes in 8 years.
He was in big trouble.
We're going to take your house, garnish your pay.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax relief firm.
I don't owe the IRS anymore. It was because of Optima Tax.
Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-611-8892. 800-611-8892.
Optima Tax Relief.
Actual client compensated for sharing their experience. Visit OptimaTaxRelief.com for details.
With AI, business is moving faster than ever. Get ahead of the pack at Oracle AI World, October 13th through 16th in Las Vegas. See real-world AI innovations powering leading businesses, build practical skills with experts, and get ideas you can put to work on day one to boost productivity, cut costs, and accelerate growth. 4 days, 1 destination to retool your strategy with AI. Seats are limited. Register now at oracle.com/AI World. Oracle.com/AI World.
This Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern, SiriusXM Patriot presents Patriot's Special Report, Remembering Charlie Kirk. Mary Walter anchors special live coverage of the memorial service from Glendale, Arizona. Hear the tributes, reflections, and remembrances as family, friends, and colleagues gather to honor his life and legacy. Don't miss Patriot's Special Report, Remembering Charlie Kirk. Live Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern on SiriusXM Patriot 125.
One of the most important consumer values is personal responsibility. Mike Slater, freedom is not the end of the story. It's just the beginning. It's what we do with our freedom that matters. Enough of this woke DEI stuff, man. We're only looking for the best. We're looking for excellence. And then the family. The left said that the nuclear family is white supremacy. The nuclear family is the bedrock of America. Whiteboard News Daily with Mike Slater. Weekdays from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern. Conservative principles live here. SiriusXM Patriot, Channel 125.
Whiteboard News Daily with your host, Mike Slater.
First president to have a second official state visit with the monarchy in England. We'll talk a little bit about that. Also, Senator Eric Schmidt on his amazing speech, What is in America? We'll talk to him about it.
Whiteboard News Daily. Weekdays at 6 a.m. Eastern on SiriusXM Patriot 125.
As a business owner, you're at your game each day. Back on the field, go time. You back up for a big play, make your throw, and then bam! Your bank throws a penalty flag. Paperwork penalty, 8-week delay, loss of sales. Delta Capital Group doesn't play by the bank's rulebook. With Delta Capital Group, you can apply for the loans you need for your big plays in just 3 minutes. There's no cost to quickly see if you can get that 100,000 line of credit, that $500,000 equipment loan. You deserve to know. Same-day approvals, no collateral required, overnight funding, and Delta works with any credit score. Wouldn't it be nice to know? Rated A+ by the BBB, Delta keeps businesses moving forward. No flags, no fumbles, just funding. So stop with the penalty flags from your bank. Get off the sidelines and into the end zone with Delta Capital Group. Over half their clients are repeat customers and referrals because Delta gets business done. Think beyond the bank.
How's the weather up north, Press?
That's DeltaCat.com.
On Fox 1, you can stream your favorite news,
You
sports,
change it to whatever you want. What channel you want?
all in one network. In one filter. This is the best thing ever. Watch breaking news as it breaks.
About to have, I think it's going back to Mark Levin after this.
History in the making. Debates, drama, touchdowns. It's all here, baby. Fox 1, we live for live. Streaming.
I think at midnight it goes to Mark
Your lights
Levin.
just went on the fridge. Yeah, the AC was silent and your phone half charged. When disaster strikes, how you prepare beforehand can save your life. Because when the lights go dark, people get desperate. They'll fight for food, beg for water, and do almost anything to get their hands on power. Being prepared and staying discreet could be what keeps you alive. That's why I trust the Patriot Power Generator 2500 Extra for Patriots. It's fume-free, silent, and powerful enough to run your fridge, freezer, CPAP, even medical devices. With no gas, no noise, and no unwanted attention. Just clean, quiet power when you need it most. And right now,
That's crazy. It's fucking satellite radio. It's supposed to be a lot less commercials. I think we still have a ton of them.
Yours free. This has never been done before and will never happen again. Go to 4patriots.com. That's the number 4patriots.com to claim your free expansion.
Shit don't work in tunnels.
Don't wait until it's too late. Prepare before the panic.
SiriusXM Patriot. 125. Conservative principles live here.
On Sirius XM Patriot 125.
If you were the kind of person who feels joy at the death of a grieving mother and grieving children, what bad decisions have led you to where you are today, and why don't you get back on the right path?
Yeah. Why don't you get back on the right path? I mean, he couldn't be more eloquent and accurate in his assertion there. We need more common sense instead of this nonsense that we've been subjected to so far. So I'm grateful for the time that we've had this week to really work through what has been so difficult. I'll share again the Turning Point
someone somewhere.
Service information has been released.
Welcome.
It's going to be
2-hour drive home.
Service is going to be very, very impactful.
About to stop here, grab coffee. Help me with the trip.
So
He's
many
not cutting it.
of the voices that we have to trust will be there, and it's going to be an amazing event. If you are thinking to yourself, "There's no way I can make it to Arizona," don't worry. They actually understand that people across the country will want to commemorate his death and his life, and to be a part of it. So check your local Turning Point chapters to see if there's something going on near you. All right, God bless you. Thank you so much for being with us tonight.
There always is.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-619-6488 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again.
What is Channel 15?
At an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive.
We'll put that on while I'm in the store.
And car rental options at
Make
no
it
additional cost.
may screw me up
Free quick quote today.
on
800-619-6488.
Hey, Mitty.
800-619-6488.
Good timing.
Call 800.
About to run in, go to the bathroom real quick, and grab a coffee. You're welcome to listen to Channel 15, Sirius XM Radio, whatever that is. That's what Missing Remote is asking for.
Your business a smarter way to stay connected. Open Phone lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you and your team can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to need to take calls on the go? Open Phone automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what
I don't know how to go directly to the
With
channel.
Open Phone's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions, and use those insights to coach your team and level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can your exercise just Field of Greens.
There it is.
Each fruit and vegetable in Field of Greens was doctor selected for specific.
There we go. It's 23. Something was above the turn signal on the way in. All right. You're doing it wrong. You gotta have a space there, homie. There's quotes. Enough of this. I'm about to get shut off on YouTube.
Charlie Kirk. The lies about the suspect, about the motive, about the circumstances that led to that violent, atrocious assassination. The lies about who Charlie Kirk was and still is, by the way, what Turning Point USA is. The lies about the predominance of violence, political violence motivated by the left, and how it far outweighs anything that could even be considered political violence coming from the right. As J.D. Vance said, yes, we've got our crazies on the right too, but it's nowhere near symmetrical.
It's not working. There's something
In the
weird
scope
because
and in the effectiveness
everything
of
else
their
is working.
violence and how that violence is manifest into bullying tactics that turn into policy. You just look at Black Lives Matter and how that violence.
See if any of the games are working.
And that destruction and that.
I just fucking checked that the other day too.
And those riots and that looting all turned into political power for the left. That doesn't happen on the right. Not even close. And with all the statistics and graphs you see about political incidents and how the right is really responsible for all the political violence in our country, you know, just use your finger to
there it goes.
One click on that graph and find out what the source is. Pull up the numbers and you will see that, for instance, the Anti-Defamation League, they're a disgrace. Or the Southern Poverty Law Center, they're a lying, deceitful, manipulative propaganda disgrace. When they catalog political violence over the course of the last 10 or 20 years, they don't count the Black Lives Matter arsons. They don't count the riots. They don't count the people who were hurt and maimed and murdered.
Yeah, it looks like it's working.
For Black Lives Matter after George Floyd. They don't consider that political violence. They don't. Yeah, that's just peaceful protest. I'm not joking. There were over 800.
So we got about 2 hours till we're home, so.
With vandalism and violence.
It'll be about 2 o'clock in the morning here, local time.
In 2020, and not one of those riots is included in left-wing political violence in those studies. So,
ooh, there's a good one.
You are the.
I think if you just do the quote, it'll just do a random.
And I've got lots of examples that I'm going to share with you. Right from their mouth.
Supposed to, anyway.
Happening on the cable news.
A lot of that shit has changed.
We've got to hold around today. But I want to start with one fundamental lie. One fundamental lie that until the elite corporate legacy media can come to terms with this fundamental lie, they should never be trusted.
Yeah, I'm a bit ways from home. I'm just leaving Cleveland, so.
A truth that you will.
There's the airport to the left here.
Washington Post, the LA Times, and broadcast numbers for most of the cable news networks. But here on talk radio, we can say this, and I will say it. It is a truth, and you never hear this truth. Are you ready for it? Trans women are men. And there it is. I said it. And they can't say that. And that tells you why.
I believe that was one of Dirty's quotes there.
We've seen this play out most vividly yesterday with the media's coverage of the murder of Charlie Kirk. It's revealing not just for what they've reported, but for what they've tried desperately to cover up and obscure. Every network, every newspaper, every blue check on social media, they're paralyzed by the same dilemma. You've all seen it. They've twisted themselves into pretzels trying to figure out how to report one basic fact of this murder suspect, and that is his relationship, his homosexual relationship with his lover. They keep calling this guy a roommate. Or maybe they'll refer to him as a transitioning roommate or a transgender roommate, but that's not the case. I want to be clear. They weren't roommates, they were gay lovers. The roommate wasn't just a quirky companion who liked to cosplay. Yes, he wore kinky, furry costumes and he demanded to be identified as a woman. He insisted the world deny basic biological facts about what he had between his legs. The press corps, though,
poisoned by woke left-wing trans activist speech codes, bend over backwards to avoid that obvious fact and actually accommodate the lie in their reporting. This is a fundamental fact associated with a murder investigation, and the journalists and reporters and teleprompter readers who are presenting this news to you are lying about a basic fact. Instead of clarity, we give
I believe that's in there.
Instead of truth,
XE.
euphemism.
There's over 100 different quotes by number. I think if you just do exclamation point, quote, without the space, it'll just do a random one.
They talk about gender identity as if it overwrites reality. They repeat the mantra that trans women are women, which is a fundamental lie. Not because they.
But then again, you can come over to Rumble and talk to Trump directly.
To chant it like a mantra, like a prayer, like an oath. The truth is not complicated. Trans women are not women. They are men. Period. Full stop. No amount of costumes or hormones or surgeries or speech.
Yeah, see, Matt, it just randomly does it. Oh, that was a good one, too.
The left has spent nearly a decade telling all of us the opposite of the truth. Academia has enforced it. The medical establishment has covered it. Politicians
Babe Ruth.
and the media, once tasked with.
I think there is a little bit of a cool down, though.
Truth, have instead demanded that the public bow before the lie. And they did it all day today in reporting on the murder. So now the lie collides with the most dominant story in America, and you can't unsee it. Charlie Kirk was murdered, and the people at the center of that story were not roommates. They were not part of some progressive fairy tale about love and identity. They were gay men in a relationship, one of whom played out bizarre sexual fantasies while insisting everyone else denied his male biology. That's the reality. That's the truth, and they won't tell you it. In story after story, the media refuses.
I just started, man. I went like one exit and then jump back off so I could grab a coffee. Whoa! He was in a hurry. Holy crap! That scared the shit out of me, man. I did not hear him until he was next to me. Not see him coming up either.
This is why the credibility crisis
Jacob!
is not just a minor hiccup.
Lurking and surfing, hell yeah.
How can we trust journalists who build their profession on a lie as fundamental as men can become women? How can we trust politicians who legislate based on that same fantasy? How can we trust doctors who mutilate healthy bodies because the ideology tells them to? Until the media and its allies tell the truth that trans women are men, they can never rebuild that trust. Until they stop forcing us to deny reality, they will never enjoy credibility, and they shouldn't.
Like life has a short season here.
And when a nation is asked to abandon truth in the service of ideology, well, tragedy will follow. That's what we saw play out this week. And even when reporting on that tragedy, they still have to continue the lie. And we're done with that. You're done with that. That's why you come here, for the truth, for the facts, for the things that can't be said. Trans women are men. And if your news source, no matter how big their budget,
I remember that one,
can't bring themselves to say that to you, you need to find another news source. I'm Larry O'Connor. It's the Mark Levin Show.
Larry O'Connor. I don't think I've heard of him.
With one word, she united the world. Her powerful and joyous voice became the defining sound of salsa, earning her the title of queen in her own Sirius XM channel. Timeless hits. And the music she inspired. All on Celia Cruz Azúcar. Starting tomorrow on the Sirius XM.
Good coffee.
Just search Celia. Hey, all the states now, Dean. You know I'm all about supporting what matters most. Our families, faith, and freedoms. That's why I made the switch to Patriot Mobile.
Oh, he's been targeted for a long time. His show has literally been swatted while he was live several times. Yeah. They want him dead. Anybody with a voice that young people are listening to, they want dead. Yeah, I'm sleepy too, Eggsy. If you get tired, you're not gonna hurt my feelings. Always love your company, but I understand if you're tired. You got to work tomorrow too, right? You volunteer. It'll be 1 o'clock in the morning by the time I get home at your time. It's like we're getting some fog again.
Odoo has all the programs you'll ever need, and they're all connected on one platform, giving you peace of mind that your business is being taken care of from every angle.
We know you're okay. We just want to make sure you're nice and fresh for your volunteer hours tomorrow.
Odoo's got it. Odoo sounds pretty amazing, right? So stop depending on all those expensive, disconnected platforms and let Odoo harmonize your business with simple, efficient software that can handle everything for a fraction of the price. Sign up today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com. Odoo, modern management made simple. Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to.
Right on the money there, Eggsy.
Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else, just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-278-1120. 800-278-1120. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-278-1120.
Health surprises can change your life in an instant. You've seen it happen to others, but it doesn't have to be your story. At Princeton Longevity Center, we customize actionable and proactive health plans to maximize your lifespan and take control of your health. Our Cancer Check program combines cutting-edge technology with top medical expertise to keep you ahead of potential risks.
Hold up my
body imaging, genetic testing, and multi-cancer detection blood tests. We look for even the earliest signs of problems. Results are analyzed by expert physicians who craft a personalized plan to safeguard your future. You're not just a patient, you're a partner in your health journey, backed by a team committed to helping you live longer, healthier, and more vibrantly. Our programs have saved hundreds of lives and empowered countless others to take control of their health. Be proactive with your health for the ultimate peace of mind. Call 800-8000-PLC or visit PrincetonLongevityCenter.com.
We just read up we on Sirius XM Patriots 125. Conservative principles live here.
It's past September.
The great remarkable event and the lines that you've been told is a big part of today's show, and we're going to be exposing lies. Also, a remarkable hearing today with the woman who had just recently been fired from the CDC. Absolutely stunning. This person's performance, Susan Bonares. We're going to share quite a bit of that testimony with you. And also I want to highlight freshman Congressman Brandon Gill, who was part of the hearing today with Kash Patel, the FBI director, who once again was magnificent. We've got all that coming up in a bit, and an unbelievable story out of Dearborn, Michigan, that apparently has just been overcome by the jihadists, including their mayor, who says that if you have a different opinion, you're not welcome in that city. Listen, you can't get more Hamas than that. At least it's on brand. We're going to share all that, but I just wanted to touch on something.
Yeah, I heard that.
I mentioned in passing that there's some podcasters who are affiliated with
Suspended indefinitely,
saying things about Charlie Kirk's death and some questions about the Jews and Israel and all that. I'm not going to dwell on it much, honestly, because here's the thing. The enemies of Charlie Kirk and the conservative movement in this country would love for us to be fighting with each other. And I would rather ignore, frankly. I don't know what that is, but it's not conservative. It's not what Charlie Kirk stood for. It's certainly not what Mark Levin or I stand for. I don't know what it is. It's not the business that I'm in, that's for sure. Because this is deadly serious, what we're in the midst of right now. Deadly serious. I think it should be clear to everybody who we face as political opponents now in this country. And the propaganda lies that have been spewed over the course of the last week by the usual suspects on the left have galvanized the reality. The notion that there is some sort of symmetrical occurrence of political violence on both the right or the left, or the other lie that they try to tell you, which is actually it's the conservatives who are the most politically violent. That it
looks like
from the right. Hey, let me just be clear.
The bots are actually working on everything now. They're even working on Twitch,
so that you can actually take this information and use it against, I'm sure, the people on your Facebook page or in your family or at your workplace who try to repeat this lie. It's pretty clear. A left-wing motivated assassin tried to kill Republican congressmen while they were practicing baseball. A left-wing motivated assassin tried to put a bullet in Donald Trump's head. And a left-wing motivated assassin just killed Trevor. There is nothing wrong.
It's an all-star benefit concert in support of American homegrown farms. Farm 840. Live music featuring.
Yeah, I don't know about who owns what as far as that goes. Well, I mean, it's not just generally the insults; it's the straight up fucking lies that he tells. I mean, the guy's fucking like he's got, TDS is a mental illness, I think.
That's exactly why I started my business, so you don't have to. Hi, I'm Alan Jones, founder and CEO of Bambi. I created Bambi so small business owners can take back control of their business. Need to find a poor-performing employee who happens to now want 3 months off? Your Bambi HR manager will take care of that for you in your first week with us. You spend your time coaching your A players, we'll take care of the rest. I'm so confident that Bambi will help you focus on what you love about running your business. I'm offering a $1 trial to the service for your first month. Trust me, there are no limits to the amount of calls or questions you can give your Bambi HR manager. After your first month, just $29 a month for companies of any size, month to month. No hidden fees, cancel anytime. Get a month of Bambi for just $1. Go to Bambi.com and type stocks under radio to schedule your first call with an HR manager right now. Go to BAMBEE.com, stocks radio. Tires matter. They're the only part of your vehicle that's
really haven't since Letterman left. Even he was hard to take sometimes.
Confidently with tires from Tire Rack. Whether you're looking for expert recommendations or know exactly what you want, Tire Rack makes it easy. You'll get fast, free shipping, free road hazard protection.
What's his name? Ferguson used to be pretty good.
Try mobile installation. They'll bring your new tires to your home or office.
I don't know if he's still on any channels.
Tire Rack has the best selection of
tires from world-class brands. And they don't just sell tires, they test them on the road and on their test track. Learn how the tires you want tackle evasive maneuvers, drive and stop in the rain, just handle your everyday commute. Go to TireRack.com to see their test results, tire ratings, and consumer.
Only ones I've watched in the last fucking 5 years, 6, longer than that, were the ones with Gillis on it.
I've got some facts for you. In 2018, the average driving distance for men
Shane Gillis.
126.4 yards.
And they brought him back after they fired him before he even was on the show.
With all this new golf technology, now his distance shrinking.
Oh, Colin Ferguson? Okay.
More are getting fitted for clubs. Every driver of all company is promising new sharp technology.
I used to like him.
Talking about rolling the ball back. You know where you aren't looking? Your shoes. Meet the new LT Series by Square, the only golf shoe proven to increase distance. The new LT Series is a different kind of golf.
If you could catch any of his little shows, tires on like YouTube or something like that, dude, it's on Netflix, but you can catch it pirated on YouTube all the time. All tires. It's pretty fucking hilarious.
Use the ground better with the new LT Series from Squares. Did you know that your largest investment asset might not be your retirement account from home? I'm Jay Jackson, CEO of Abacus Life. Most people don't realize that their life insurance policy is actually an asset that can sell. But for almost 20 years, Abacus has been purchasing life insurance policies from seniors just like you. We've even created a free policy value calculator at abacuspays.com so you can find out.
Yeah, me and my son saw Shane Gillis at the Masonic Temple in Detroit. It's pretty good. Night work ahead. Who knew? Who knew?
Your equity portfolio or your finances in total. Discover the valuable information you need to understand the current market value for your life insurance, and then get real value from your life insurance when you need with Abacus. Visit abacuspays.com to learn more and use our free policy value calculator today. Welcome to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, the golf capital of the world. With more than 80 courses designed by legends, stunning coastal views, and perfect year-round weather, there's no better place to tee it up. Whether you're chasing birdies, soaking in the ocean breeze, or enjoying world-class dining after your round, there is magic in a Myrtle Beach golf experience. So grab your buddies and experience the ultimate golf getaway. Plan your trip today at playgolfmyrtlebeach.com. That's playgolfmyrtlebeach.com.
Dignity, secure borders.
Channel 125.
There's a few funny ones out there. I like Bert Kreischer.
Narrow path. You have a guide. Mark Levin. Call him now at 877-381-3811.
Larry O'Connor in for Mark Levin. Thanks for tuning in tonight. 877-381-3811. If you want to follow me, by the way, and you like what you hear, I've got a podcast, radio show out of Washington, D.C. I've got a streaming show, books, LarryVIP.com. LarryVIP.com is where you get that. Larry.
A lot of people standing around.
Right. I want to share with you Randy.
Not doing dick.
You know Randy Gill. You should know Randy Gill. Randy Gill is a freshman congressman out in Texas. He's only been in Congress for 8 months. He engineered some of the greatest questioning of the CEOs of NPR and PBS during the House Oversight Committee hearings on ending the funding for those entities. He was flawless in bringing receipts, catching them in lies, showing the world exactly who these deceitful left-wing propagandists are. And today, in the Judiciary hearing, led by Chairman Jim Jordan, he had 5 minutes with Director of the FBI, Kash Patel. By the way, I want to point out that Randy Gill is the youngest Republican in the House of Representatives. He's 31 years old. That
they don't even fucking work in the wintertime here, really.
Sure rings a bell or sounds somewhat resonant with you as you hear it, associated with an up-and-coming young
conservative man. It should. Charlie Kirk was just murdered at the age of 31. Brandon Gill is the same age as Charlie Kirk. Just let that resonate and marinate as you hear him now with Cash Patel. Take a listen. Thank you again for taking the time, Director Patel, and for Chairman Jordan for holding this hearing. Thank you for depoliticizing the FBI and getting it back to its original mission as well. Director Patel, do you agree that we have a problem in the United States with politically motivated violence?
Absolutely.
And I very much agree. I think we can all agree that political violence is wrong, it's evil, regardless of which side it comes from, and that we can all adamantly and vehemently reject it, or we certainly should. But one of the things that we've noticed recently is that affinity and tolerance for political violence is not equally distributed on both sides of the aisle. In fact, right now, social media is filled with leftists who are cheering on the murder of an iconic conservative political figure, Charlie Kirk. And it's not just random people on Twitter doing this now. There's a YouGov poll released just a few days ago, which stated that 25% of those who identify as very liberal believe that political violence.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't give a shit.
That's far too many, is it not? It is. That
One is far too many.
One is far too many. That's right. Only 3% of very conservatives said the same thing. We can agree that 3% is far too many. But there's an astounding difference between 25% on the left accepting and tolerating political violence and 3% on the right. I would hope that our colleagues on the other side of the aisle would also recognize that there is a systemic problem on their side of the aisle with tolerance for violence against people with whom they politically disagree, that there's a cultural rot on their side of the aisle that needs to be addressed desperately. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
I just want to say, I'm going to let him finish because it's so good and so well spoken and so to the point. We, if you're like me, you can't wait for moments when Republicans have their time to shine in these hearings and their microphone gets turned on and you say, all right, let's go get them now. Let's get it out there. Let's do your job. And then you get the sad trombone moment. The it's not good. Oftentimes it's because these congressmen are
I had a steak dinner before I did my work, so still pretty full from that.
That's okay. They know it too. They've got to
did get a little bit of a snack
and they let
with my coffee, but I don't even know if I'll open that.
You think they think they're making a point, but it's oftentimes they're not. And there's nobody in the staff around them and who's got the courage or the fortitude or
22-ounce
by the big guy or
Delmonico porter.
Tell them,
sir, Delmonico ribeye.
Do better. Let us help craft this for you. Let's get this right. Oftentimes, by the way, they just end up speaking and speaking and speaking and speaking and speaking and speaking.
I killed
and
it too.
Never actually involving the witness in front of them.
I killed that bitch.
And oftentimes they don't actually move the ball in any legitimate way for our agenda, for our ideology. And let's face it, there are various ways to conduct yourself in these hearings when you're a member of Congress. And oftentimes, each person plays a different role in an important hearing. And sometimes all you want to do is get a lot of information out there in the form of a speech or what have you. But it tends to out there, but then pausing every 45 to 50 seconds and turning back to the witness saying, wouldn't you agree? Which allows violence
rhetoric on the left that inspires the kind of heinous acts that we just saw. And every single one of the Democrats on this committee and in Congress and in the media have claimed for the last week that, oh, well, I don't do that. I disavow any of that. None of us were celebrating this. But as I said,
yeah, that was my rear view mirror.
Texas,
we're seeing it out back.
And these receipts have Ilhan Omar's name all over them. So one of the more astounding aspects of this is that it's not just people. This comes from the very top, from their political leaders. Just a few days ago, a member of Congress of this body, Ilhan Omar, shared a video on her social media account about Charlie Kirk's murder. And I'll quote what it said. It said, "Charlie Kirk was Dr. Frankenstein, and his monster shot him through the neck." In other words, Charlie had it coming to him. The words that he said naturally led to his assassination. I mean, that is a reprehensible thing for a member of Congress to say, to suggest, to promote in any capacity. And there are people across this country who are losing their jobs for far less than this. And that, by the way, is a just response to acceptance and tolerance of political violence. It's amazing to me that the political left today, who are the originators and the cheerleaders of cancel culture, now have the backbone to attack conservatives for defending their assassinated friend. But there's a key difference here. Democrats want to silence conservatives for speaking obvious, self-evident ontological truths like that men aren't women and men can't get pregnant. That seems pretty basic. That seems like a basic truth that we should all be able to agree on. Republicans, by contrast, are recognizing that a constitutional republic depends on the free and open exchange of ideas that we can debate without violence. And that assassinating a political rival is evil, it's wrong, and it should not be glorified or promoted or justified in any way, including in the way that Congresswoman Ilhan Omar did. Mr. Patel, thank you again for being here. I'd like to, with the remainder of my time, just get your opinion. Does the FBI recognize the rising threat of political violence in America, and what can you guys do to address it?
Yes, we do, and what we can do to address it, Congressman, is we need to get online partnerships with these companies in the public space, on these gaming sites, and on these social media sites. As I was saying earlier, there is no way to triage the amount of information generated on these sites by the FBI alone. We need the public-private partnership, and there's another law that's expiring, I think, at the end of this month, which I believe we need renewed, that allows private sector companies to report into the FBI without liability for a criminal investigation.
Yes, they did.
And that's the kind of stuff.
But the thing is, it's not the government doing it now. It was the government causing it before. Now it's the private owners of companies who can decide, you know what, that goes against our morals and ethics. You're gone. That's where you're seeing it. You're seeing it in schools too, but even then, it's like, you know, there's other side of the dice today during this hearing. You have a code that you have to go by with certain jobs.
Who has my right price? We used to work for the Trump campaign. Posted this video and describes it as accurately a full-on.
I see a lot of these videos. Oh, I just got fired. Blah blah blah. They're fake as fuck. You can tell.
Of course, along with most of the Democrats on the panel, just wanted to talk about Jeffrey.
There's so much fake shit on that. It's crazy.
They all want to talk about Jeffrey Epstein. And Kash Patel was having none of it. And toward the end of this nervous breakdown, Pramila Jayapal decided to, burn her own party down by claiming that her own colleagues were covering up their involvement with Jeffrey Epstein, which, by the way, could very well be true. But take a listen to this. Trigger warning. It's a member of the squad, so you've been warned.
Are you kidding? It incredibly came forward. And you know what happened? President Trump authorized the indictment of Jeffrey Epstein. Not Biden, not Obama.
President
Trump
calls the entire thing a Democratic hoax. So I would like to
asking.
The gentlelady time's expired. I get the additional 45 seconds to request. The gentlelady yields back. The gentleman from
Mr.
New
Chairman,
Jersey
I would like to ask if you would meet with the women who were sexually abused and raped and groomed at the ages of 14 and 16 years old. Are you going to cover up? Are you going to continue to cover up for the rich and powerful men, including those that might be on this committee?
I can yell to you, Chairman, but I don't want to yell
Call
on
them
this.
to
The time belongs
testify.
to the gentleman from New Jersey. I
Are you
appreciate
going
the
to allow
gentlelady
them to
yielding back.
testify, Mr. Patel? Will you allow them to testify to you, Mr. Patel?
Wow. Jim Jordan, the chairman of the Judiciary Committee, has, I was going to say the patience of Job, but honestly, at this point, to make it a little bit more of a current reference, he has the patience of Jennings, Scott Jennings, who has to deal with that kind of behavior all day long on CNN. That was stunning. I will try
Great Danes, they can be a little bit
confrontations today with members of the House.
hoggish of the bed, I
It's
suppose.
all good stuff, and after you see it, of course,
They do take up some space.
want to high five the radio that you're listening to and say, yeah, that's what I voted. But first, coming up in just a sec, President Trump is in England, and the state banquet hosted by King Charles and Queen Camilla has just concluded, and we have the toasts that President Trump gave to the king and the king gave to the president. You know, this is the first time a president has been invited to Windsor Castle. The reason, of course, he's at Windsor Castle is he's already had a state dinner at Buckingham Palace. No president has ever been invited for two state banquets by the royal family. President Trump is the first. Of course, Buckingham Palace during his first term was he was the guest of Queen Elizabeth II, may she rest in peace, and now he is the guest of King Charles. You're going to hear both of those toasts and the pomp and circumstance and what happened at Windsor Castle coming up in just a moment. I'm Larry O'Connor. It's the Mark Levin Show. Mark Levin.
It really means a lot to have our own channel here on Sirius XM. For us to be able to have a platform to share the music that we love, the music that we create, the music that inspires us. The most Metallica anywhere's maximum Metallica.
Channel 42 and the Sirius XM app on right now.
Regulated activities performed by a licensed affiliate.
I had no idea I could sell my life insurance policy.
Norman and Nancy Dugan for Coventry Direct.
We were about to let Norman's policy lapse because premiums have become expensive. Our kids are doing well on their own, so we just don't need it anymore.
Then Nancy called Coventry.
They were so helpful, answering all of our questions.
If you're over 65 and have $100,000 or more of life insurance, you may qualify.
After this past year, we are celebrating life. We booked some long overdue travel, and we're able to pay for our grandkids' college.
Coventry Direct has helped thousands live the life they want to live, pay for unplanned medical expenses, or supplement retirement income. When it comes to selling your life insurance, Coventry's got you covered. Call 800-278-2296 or visit CoventryDirect.com to learn more about how you can get cash by selling your life insurance. Call 800-278-2296.
Golfers over 50 need to hear this. You have a problem no one is talking about. Longevity. Are you losing distance? Dealing with pain or discomfort? Or losing mobility? Maybe you can't play 2 days in a row. Or are worried about surviving a golf trip with your buddies. Bar for Success has helped over 15,000 golfers just like you. With science-backed one-on-one online golf fitness coaching that fits your schedule. Tell Father Time to come back later. Take the free 5-minute assessment to get your answers at parforsuccess.com. That's par, the number 4, success.com.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the relief hotline at 800-515-8832. 800-515-8832. 800-515-8832.
This is professional law firm Oracle Manning. You've heard me talk about Celebrity Greens, the company that builds championship level synthetic putting greens in the homes of amateurs and professional golfers all across North America. Celebrity Greens is known for their great design, the use of the best materials, and the amazingly high quality installations. Their greens look great and perform like natural greens that I've played on my entire career. Now, Celebrity Greens is looking for additional sales and construction partners. If you're involved in the synthetic turf business or a contractor looking to expand your business, or an entrepreneur, give Celebrity Greens a call today. They're currently expanding across North America, and they will be opening new markets soon. And if you're an avid golfer wanting the convenience and the beauty of a custom green or a beautiful low-maintenance lawn in your own backyard, you should call them too. Contact Celebrity Greens at 1-888-507-7960 or visit them online at celebritygreens.com. Celebrity Greens, redefining private golf all across North America. Visit them online at celebritygreens.com. Celebrity Greens.
Personal responsibility.
We are Sirius XM
Patriot.
Channel 125.
With no medical exam required through Life Insurance Savings Group. With the increasing cost of funerals plus any outstanding debts, your family could be stuck with a huge bill when you pass away. Don't let that happen. As a qualifying customer, you're guaranteed acceptance regardless of your health, even if you have diabetes, high blood pressure, or are overweight. Call 1-800-289-3434 for your free quote today. To repeat, if you're between 55 and 75, you could get up to $50,000 in coverage with no medical exam required. Your rates will never go up, and your benefits will never go down. Plus, some policies cost as little as $30 per month. Call 1-800-289-3434 for your free quote. 1-800-289-3434 or go to lifeinsurancesavings.com today. That's 1-800-289-3434. Details on example rate at lifeinsurancesavings.com. Paid for by Sunnyphone.
Good looks, John Smash. It all adds up to the Hunt Club and Radio Show.
It's Mario Carter sitting in for Mark Levin, and we've got a breaking story here that I'm going to dive into coming up in the next hour in detail. But as of 5 minutes ago, ABC Entertainment, owned by the Disney Corporation, has yanked Jimmy Kimmel off the air indefinitely, the statement says, because of his recent remarks about the Charlie Kirk murder. I'm going to remind you what he said and then tell you exactly how this whole thing transpired. This literally is breaking over the course of the last 30 minutes. We'll give you all those details coming up in just a moment. Don't go anywhere. But first, as promised, here is President Trump at Windsor Castle as he stood to deliver his toast. And by the way, the protocol on these things are so rehearsed and planned and scripted. And each of these two gentlemen, the president and the king, they have their toasts written out and scripted. And President Trump is reading from his script, mostly because you know what happens with our president. Here he is.
Your Majesty, Melania and I are deeply grateful to you, Queen Camilla, for your extraordinary graciousness. To William and Kate, thank you so much. It's been so great being with you today. Thank you very much. It's a singular privilege to be the first American president welcomed here. And if you think about it, it's a lot of presidents, and this was the second state visit, and that's the first, and maybe that's going to be the last time. I hope it is, actually. But this is certainly one of the highest honors of my life. Such respect for you and such respect for your country. For many decades, His Majesty the King has epitomized the fortitude, nobility, and the spirit of the British monarchy and the British people. He's dedicated himself to preserving the glory and unique character of this kingdom, restoring life to the rivers and streams, supporting the works of its artists and composers, planting trees and gardens in its countryside. And I just visited one of the most beautiful I've ever seen that you just completed, and protecting the architectural integrity of its cities, villages, and towns. He has uplifted the poor, cared for rural farms, and tended to wounded veterans like nobody else. I'll tell you that I just stood in line and shook about 150 hands. And the king knew every single person and every single company, and some of them had bad names like XYZ-Q3. And he knew every one of them, or at least I think he did, because nobody was complaining. I was very impressed with that.
Nobody ever complains when you're the king anyway. But that's some great stuff. And again, off script, as President Trump is often gonna do for his toast to the king. It's so hard to say the king. He delivered warm words to the American.
As we celebrate this unparalleled partnership, allow me to propose a toast to President Trump and the First Lady, and to the health, prosperity, and happiness of the people of the United States of America.
And as everybody grabs their champagne flutes,
You can argue opinions all day long, but you can't argue results. Greetings, naturopathic Dr. Dennis Blackner, founder of Rough Greens. And for years, the big plant food companies have told you.
All right, how long do we got left? 1 hour, 5 minutes, it says on the timer.
At such high temperatures, it's dead. And when you feed dead food day in and day out, itchy skin, achy joints, no energy, and endless trips to the vet. When you add Rough Greens, you get the live vitamins, probiotics, enzymes, omega oils, and antioxidants your dog needs. It's not marketing hype. That's real results. Senior dogs are running around like puppies. Skin problems, finally finding relief. Even the pickiest eaters are licking their bowl plate. That's proof the industry can't deny. I don't want you to take my word for it. I want you to see it for yourself. I'll send you a free Jumpstart trial bag. You just cover the shipping. Go to roughgreens.com. Use discount code PROOF. That's RUFF Greens. Discount code PROOF.
This is a special bonus to U.S. taxpayers who intend customers report to the IRS. Tax relief advocates support to notify taxpayers that tax relief initiatives are not available and may significantly reduce their liquidity when you owe. If you are afraid of an IRS lien, levy, or wage garnishment, don't lose hope. You can now take advantage of these current relief programs to end all collections, reduce the amount you owe, and resolve your tax problem. Even if you have years of unfiled tax returns or already in a payment plan, you may still qualify for significant relief. Struggling taxpayers can have the relief they need during these hard economic times. A hotline has been established by tax relief advocates for you to call and see what you qualify for. They're A+ rated with the BBB and have over 1,000 5-star reviews. Don't wait. Call 800-575-7049. 800-575-7049. That's 800-575-7049. Or simply visit TRA.com.
Conservative principles live here. Economic opportunity. We're here today because we believe that America's destiny is to dominate every industry and be the first in every technology. And that includes being the world's #1 superpower. Artificial intelligence is a serious next impeachment.
I'm Jason Walker. Big changes in late night television. ABC saying tonight it has suspended Jimmy Kimmel's late night show indefinitely following comments he made about the murder of Charlie Kirk. Now, the network's decision came after Nexstar announced its ABC affiliate would preempt Jimmy Kimmel Live indefinitely. Kimmel has consistently been very critical of President Trump and his policies. The investigation into the death of a 21-year-old black student discovered hanging from a tree at Delta State University in Mississippi remains an active investigation.
While the preliminary report of the Baldwin County Coroner's Office indicates no evidence of foul play, we recognize that this is not only about facts. It's about emotions and it's about feelings. And the way this loss and how it was discovered affects people's lives.
That is school president Dan Ennis. Major police shooting in Pennsylvania. State Police Commissioner Christopher Harris.
I can confirm that there were 5 law enforcement officers who were shot today.
Oh, wow.
3 fatally, 2 that were transported here to Wellspan and York. They are currently listed in critical but stable condition.
And the gunman in that case was later shot and killed by officers. Israeli troops and tanks pushing deeper into Gaza City, marking the 3rd day of that huge ground offensive. Israel's military reports a number of airstrikes in the city. President Trump will wrap up his state visit in the United Kingdom Thursday. He has held talks with King Charles III and Prime Minister Keir Starmer. More on these stories at townhall.com.
You know, a lot of times you have to choose between something high quality or something that saves you money. What if you could get both? Why not? Especially when it comes to healthcare, and that is MediShare. You get both. Many families save $500 a month with MediShare, and that's huge, but it's also true that people wind up way more satisfied, too. We know this from research of members. There's a lot they like about MediShare, but especially they love being part of something they believe in. And MediShare works, too. It has for more than 30 years. There are hundreds of thousands of members who love having telehealth if they need it. They love the huge PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or you're part of the gig economy or you just want a plan you're happy with, you call right now and get a price in 2 minutes. Here's the number. Call 844-41-BIBLE. That's 844-41-BIBLE. 844-41-BIBLE.
Engine trouble apparently preventing a supply ship from reaching the International Space Station. Correspondent Rich Thomason has the latest on that story.
Northrop Grumman's capsule was launched on Sunday from Florida aboard a SpaceX rocket. And less than 2 days later, the capsule's main engine shut down prematurely while trying to boost its orbit. It was supposed to dock Wednesday, but NASA says everything's on hold now while flight controllers consider an alternate plan. The capsule holds 11,000 pounds of cargo for the 7 space station residents. Rich Thomason, Washington.
The Atlantic Ocean claiming another beach house on the fragile Outer Banks. That home collapsed this week in Buxton, North Carolina. It's the 12th to go to the surf since May of 2020. An official at the Cape Hatteras National Seashore says that house thankfully was unoccupied. Breaking news and analysis, townhall.com.
This Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern, SiriusXM Patriot presents Patriot Special Report, remembering Charlie Kirk. Mary Walter anchors special live coverage of the memorial service from Glendale, Arizona. Hear the tributes, reflections, and remembrances as family, friends, and colleagues gather to honor his life and legacy. Don't miss Patriot's Special Report, Remembering Charlie Kirk. Live Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern on SiriusXM Patriot 125.
Hi, I'm Andrew McCullough, the CEO of streaming TV company Philo, and Juicy Reality TV is how I unwind. At Philo, we're all huge TV fans, so we spend all day making Philo the perfect place for people who love TV. No hassles, no contracts, and we never ask you to pay more for things you don't want. Just the good stuff. We have live TV from your favorite channels like MTV, Discovery, A&E, and more. We've got a huge library of more than 80,000 movies and shows you can watch anytime. We give you an unlimited DVR so you can skip all the ads. And we have 24/7 customer service that connects you to a real person in seconds. You might even get me on the line. The best part, at Philo, we think TV shouldn't break the bank. So all this is just $28 a month when you sign up at philo.tv/Andrew. That's PHILO.tv/Andrew. Give us a try, risk-free. If you love TV, you'll love Philo.
Pure opportunity is what Michigan is all about. The opportunity to do more. The opportunity to connect with the best talent.
The opportunity for people of all backgrounds to grow and expand their business. The opportunity to live and work in a state where paychecks go further. The opportunity is now, and it's right here in Michigan. Visit MichiganBusiness.org to discover all the ways the Michigan Economic Development Corporation can help your business thrive.
He's here. Now, broadcasting from the underground command post, deep in the bowels of a hidden bunker, somewhere under the brick and steel of a nondescript building, we've once again made contact with our leader, Frank Levin.
Larry O'Connor sitting in for the great one, Mark Levin. And yes, we want your calls at 877-381-3811. Love to hear from you at 877-381-3811. Mark is out. He's in Israel. He'll be back. I'm filling in. I do the morning show on WMAL in our nation's capital every morning. I've also got a streaming show through Town Hall Media every day at noon. You can get all your information about me at LarryVIP.com. LarryVIP.com. This is a big story, and it just broke within the last 20 minutes. Jimmy Kimmel has been indefinitely pulled off the air by ABC, announced by parent company Disney. Let me start at the beginning here so that you can get caught up, because you might not have been, paying attention to Jimmy Kimmel. Understandable. He's probably not somebody who's on your radar. Or let me just say, of all of the late night talk show hosts, Stephen Colbert, whose show has now been canceled, Jimmy Fallon, who was a bit of an outlier because he's actually had Greg Gutfeld. He's deigned to allow Greg Gutfeld to be on his show, on The Tonight Show. And then you've got Jimmy Kimmel on ABC. You've also got some other late night shows like Seth Meyers and The Daily Show and Saturday Night Live. They don't count. It's The Tonight Show and the former David Letterman show that Stephen Colbert ruined. Literally, he ruined it. It's not just he's not getting replaced, the whole show is being canceled. And then you've got the third one on ABC, Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel, by the way, is an odious individual. He just is. And now, all due respect, he's worked hard his whole life. He started out as a producer on a radio station in LA for a morning show, a very popular morning show on K-Rock, which was a radio station I would listen to when I lived in Los Angeles. He worked hard, started out as a producer, put in the hours, put in the effort, got his own radio show, met a funny guy, Adam Carolla. They started to team up together. He got a show on Comedy Central, got a couple shows on Comedy Central, parlayed that into a late night talk show.
I like Adam Carolla. He's pretty big.
He, left his wife that had stuck through him through all those lean years because he was, your typical Hollywood success story. So, of course, you leave your wife and you get a new one. He turned his back on a lot of friends that he had worked with. He became your typical Hollywood arrogant, big-headed jerk. And, by the way, turned into a brain-dead liberal. In many respects, when you become a brain-dead liberal and just parrot the same left-wing talking points that the industry demand of you, that's how you succeed. So I guess the two go hand in hand. But he, unlike his counterparts, Stephen Colbert and Jimmy Fallon, he led with rage. He was, compared to the other two, way more mean-spirited, way more personal. And oh, by the way, like most of these people who wear their politics on their sleeve, come out with guns a-blazing, full-throated personal attacks, not just on Republican elected officials, but on you, the Republican voter. He still gets rewarded by his network, by his corporation, with renewal after renewal after renewal, even though ratings continue to decline and decline and decline. Not only that, he's rewarded with great honorary gifts and opportunities, like hosting the Oscars. Hosting the Oscars. Jimmy Kimmel hosted the Oscars. Something that a Billy Crystal or a Bob Hope would have done in years past. So the entire Hollywood royalty, the entire establishment rewards him because of his odious angry, vitriolic, mean-spirited attacks on you. You think about it, and again, nothing wrong with anybody being political, but can you imagine Mark Levin hosting the Oscars? Actually, I would love that. It would be hilarious. But can you imagine anybody in public life who is a broadcaster and communicator who is unabashedly conservative and pro-Republican and critical of Democrats, then being elevated to the level, well, yeah, we know his politics, we know he's conservative, we know he's on the right, but we're going to have him host the Emmys.